Afternoon, yeah, it was a tight title race in Scotland last season, but ultimately Celtic surged ahead in the closing stages to finish 8 points clear at the top. What kind of shape are they in of their title defence? Let's find out by speaking to their manager, Brendan Rodgers. Brendan, nice to see you. Let's start with new additions. Paulo Bernardo is back at the club, signed on a permanent deal yesterday. What are you getting in him? How much potential does he still have to grow? We saw a lot from him last season, but how much better can he be?
Well, yeah, I think that's the nature of a young player. You know, in the right environment, the right culture, they grow and they develop. And in Paulo, what we've seen last year was a lot of potential. He has a brilliant attitude for such a young player. Very low maintenance, super professional. And what really impressed me last season was in the big moments he produced. You know, he came into games maybe when he didn't have a rhythm of games, but he'd come in. Either created goals, scored goals, and he's a tireless worker. So I think in the modern game you need a strong squad, and he comes in and helps our squad become stronger. So delighted for him. He enjoyed the football and his life here, and now he can stabilise for the next numbers of years to improve.
Is he a good example of the kind of way you would like to do more business? You know, he comes in, gets a taste for it, and then you tie him down to a long-term deal. He's got all his best years in front of him, and then there's potential maybe move someone on down the line. We've seen it with other players here in the past. It seems to be a good model that has served Celtic well in the past.
Well, it's one way. It's not the only way, because I think you can get players in that, you know, if the scouting's right and you get enough information and enough data on the player and you get a feel for the player, he can come in straight away without that. But it's certainly a model that has worked well for the club, but it can't be the only way. I think it is a mixture of loans and permanent signings. But it's always on, there's so many components to a transfer. Something might come onto you late that you want to do, something that comes out of the blue. Or sometimes clubs, they wait till really late on in the window before those players become available, and that was the case with Paulo last season, and it has been before with Jota and Cameron Carter-Vickers. But however which way you want to, you just want to have a quality squad.
What was your priority when you sat down and spoke with the recruitment team here in terms of what you wanted to do in this window? What kind of things did you emphasise?
Well, it's always about quality. I think that's what's key. We had a good squad last season, but we needed to improve on that. Thus far, we're still short even on those numbers. Paulo coming back is great, but we're still short on that. But the guys have been working so hard behind the scenes. We know what we need to do. I'm not going to get bogged down with the negative, toxic energy that comes around transfers. We'll work with the players that we have. We know we'll make them better. We know as a club what we need to do and what we need to improve, and we have just under 4 weeks to be able to do that.
Being pushed in the title race last season, how much did that help your group develop? Did you get stronger by being challenged?
Well, I think we've always said here at Celtic, we set our own standard. Clearly, the challenges that are there, you have to overcome them, and sometimes it's what you overcome as opposed to what you've actually achieved. And what we overcame last year, having not been a little bit inconsistent, to be honest, at times, what we overcame was a massive confidence then for the players, and also probably in me as well, because a lot of the players hadn't worked with me before, didn't know me. Obviously Callum and Bainey and a few of the other guys, Welshie, Tony Ralston, but a lot of the squad hadn't, so it was still new to them. But clearly as the season went on, and in particular those last 3 months, you know, we lost once in 25 games, and some of our play was very, very good, and we ended up winning the double, which is a big achievement here at Celtic. And we've continued with that through pre-season. So yeah, it's just continue with that mentality. The challenges will always be there, you know, even if you think you are the best team, or if you have proven to be the best team. Every challenge is there. You have to respect that, and that's what we always do here at Celtic, whilst pushing our own levels.
Across the city, your counterparts talked about them being in a rebuild, you not having that same issue to deal with here. Do you feel in a better position, more comfortable than perhaps you were last summer, because you had a lot going on, whereas now it feels a little bit more settled here?
Well, there's no doubt. I think there was a lot around me coming back last year, and coming back maybe sooner than what maybe some supporters would have wanted. But I've always, you know, for me, and I've always looked to obviously prove myself and come back and prove that I could be the right person for Celtic to take them forward, hopefully. But a club like Celtic, there's always going to be change. There's always going to be I would never necessarily a rebuild. You're always refreshing the squad, and the players need that more than anyone. They need the competition to bring the best out of themselves. So for us, it's always the chance to improve. Pre-season is a chance to refresh the squad, but ultimately you want to come out of the window in a stronger position than what you ended this season before.
Finally, last summer you sort of put the challenge out there. You'd see people back at Celtic Park with a trophy in May. Is it the same message this time round as you go into the first game of the league campaign against Kilmarnock?
That was only because when I turned up here the first time, there was they reckoned there was 15,000, and then when I turned up the second time, there was a couple of hundred people there, bless them, and so yeah. But listen, our objective is always to win at Celtic. So every trophy we'll be going for. The challenge of the Champions League will be brilliant for us. And our objective there, can we get into that playoff phase, is the first sort of step. So can't hide behind it. You're at Celtic, you're here to win. There's 3 trophies domestically to work for. We want to get the one back that we didn't have from last year, retain the 2 other ones, and then see if we can push on in Champions League.
Brendan, appreciate your time. I can't believe it rained on us, even though we're in the summer here. Scottish summer for you. Celtic do get their title defence up and running this weekend. They host Kilmarnock live on Sky Sports this Sunday.